Hi, this is Em. We're going to do some peeking at flowers. These are coming out of the press, and I've done some press flower demonstration videos, the ones that have been the most recent, the last couple of ones. You may have seen me pressing some of the ones that we're going to take a look at today. So if you're curious about what they look like after they're pressed, then this video is for you. As a quick refresher, you know that once I take them out of the books, as I've talked about in other videos, I set them on the shelf until I get to the point where I can put them away and store them for use. So here's what I just got done going through, which is where we're going to look at the flowers here in just a second. And as you remember that they then go into these books just to keep a little mild pressure on them. This is how I store them, with the little tabs. So I'll put that aside. And these are ones that I've just gone through. I've tagged them, but I haven't put them away in the book yet. And this is what we're going to look at. This is the leaf pile. I've got a bunch of piles around me sorted out like this into different segments for putting away. And so here's where we're going to look first. These are alpine lady's mantle. And I love these. I love these for detail work because you can use the individual leaves, or you can leave it in a spike. And you see how they kind of have that two-tone on the petals. Sometimes they're all green, and other times they have this beautiful kind of a burgundy greenish brown color. I love these things. This over here is coral bell leaf, and coral bell leaves come in many different kinds of colors, varieties, variegation styles. Here's some more coral leaf, and as you can see, this one is a darker color, kind of a, and then the back is very purple. This one has a variety of leaves on it. Get this into the camera a little bit more. This is some more coral. Now here's an example of one that it browned a little bit in the press. You can see how it's got that brownish modeling on it. So sometimes they do turn. This is the back side, this is the front side. This is off of kind of a wild geranium or cranesbill type plant. I really like them. I will use the entire piece of foliage, or you can drill down into the little bits for your arrangements. This is a rose leaf, miniature rose, not from the bigger garden variety roses. This is a leaf from the yellow and orange cosmos, which I'll show you those flowers here in a couple of minutes, but that's the leaf from that. And then this is dwarf goat's beard, which I like the spikiness of it. That's cool. This is celosia, and I dismantle floret sections, as well as, let me turn this around, as well as pressing them with the leaves. I think that's just gorgeous. And we had a couple different colors, this kind of a pink, and then this yellow, and then there was more of a reddish pink somewhere in here. This is a florets from a purple heather that I love to use in mini arrangements, the individual florets. And then in this pile is Queen Anne, and what else do we have here? This is mostly all queen. And then this is just little, these are upside down, that's the front. I just kind of dismantled some of them just because I kind of like those little sprays like that. And what I wanted to show you on this page that's interesting is that they kind of press in different tones. You'll see this one is whiter. It pressed whiter than this, which is yellower. Let me bring this up to the camera. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. It's right beside me here. But let me bring this up a little closer. But you see the tonal difference? How yellow the one toward the top of the camera is versus the white. So they will kind of do different depending upon, I'm not sure what. When you press them, time of the year, plant they grew on. I'm not sure. So these are all queen, but there was another one I wanted to highlight here. We won't go through every one of them. And that is how big some of them got. I had some really big ones this year that I thought were... This one went kind of yellowish. Look at how big that is. I think this would make some of these bigger ones I want to put into a larger frame and just do a specimen in a large frame because it's hard to find one these big. Excuse me. It's hard to find them this big, even out in the wild. I don't, very seldom ever got them this big, although this year on the plants, because I have them growing wild in parts of my yard. In the early season, that's when you get them. The biggest blooms happen early in the season because as the season progresses, the blooms get smaller and smaller. So this whole bundle is Queen Anne. This is a kind of a mixed page. And we have some hydrangea and some dark blue larkspur. Here's some hydrangea in profile where I took a couple of them and pressed them in profile. Same with the larkspur. And then this scoviola, which is a fan flower, they hold their color well. And I really like them. That's what's on that page. And let's see if there's anything different on this page. Oh, yeah, oh, I love these. Some of their snapdragons. Let's see if I can pull it up with one hand. Now I need both hands. And this is coming off of here, but I'll reassemble it because it's coming off. Look at how beautiful those are. The color of these snapdragons, these didn't really brown out. It's just that the coloration on the snapdragons wasn't nearly as nice as, for example, this one. Look at how beautiful that color is. And they hold their color pretty well. If you get the nice saturated one. There's yellow. Some more. I just think those turned out really nice. And then this is snapdragon leaf, I believe. I pressed some leaves. Let's see if there's anything else here. This is larkspur stems. Larkspur stems. This is some more celosia and hydrangea. This page has bidden, and then more hydrangea and some cosmos. And then this is also cosmos, but it's a different kind. It kind of comes in yellow, and then this orange color, some more yellow. This one, this is kind of cool. I like that yellow. This is a chocolate cosmos. It's another cosmos, but it's really, really dark. It's dark on the bush, and then it presses really deep. See how dark that is? Very interesting. Kind of sheeny too. And then some more of those orange and yellow cosmos. Here's one in profile. I love these. You've seen me talk about this more than once in the garden videos. And that is, well, this is Cosmos. And I closed the book on it, and it looks like I mangled the petal when I did that. So that may be a sacrifice. But it's these. This is a form of a Coreopsis. I think I showed you the tag in the In the Garden video, and I just think these are so neat. The way that they have the yellow and the darker color there. This is a variety page. This is some more of those heather. This is another kind of cosmos. It's kind of a spoon cup cosmos. And I don't know why I just pressed the petals, but for some reason I did. And then zinnia is too thick to press, as you heard me talking about in the pressing flower demonstration video. So here's the petals that you saw me do. And I love the variegated, the gradient of color on them. They're just really pretty. And then see if there's anything different here. Yeah, this one is, now this is another kind of cosmos. This was a lighter pink cosmos that had darker, this darker color there, which is really pretty. And then these are clematis. Looks like this is more, this has the butterfly weed that you've heard me talk about and that I've been trying to grow for years and years. And I finally got flowers this year. I love these things. I know they probably don't look like much for all the raving that I've been doing about wanting them. But they just, for many arrangements, they're just wonderful. They hold their color for a real long time, and they're just a unique shape. I really like them. And more zinnia. And this looks like a mixed page. Tickseed, Pansy. This is that one that I showed you in the garden and even in pressing that I was talking about that was in Dawn's yard that I was experimenting with and that they press pretty good. I really like these. Now I noticed that this one did go a little bit brown. This one did brown out. And when I talk about browning out, you see what I mean? I wouldn't use that for just a regular arrangement because it's brown. And once it browns out like that, even color enhancing, which once in a while you hear me refer to that, even color enhancing with a tinting type medium won't cover that up. Now you could gesso it and use it in mixed media, or use an opaque paint on there and use it for something like that. So I don't throw these away because I can still find uses for it. It's just that for an arrangement where I want them to look more lifelike, I wouldn't use something that brown. So that did brown. But most of these other ones worked out okay. And one thing, for example, in trying to get these off the page, you see where this is sticking? And I can't just pull it off because the whole thing is sticking. So you have to figure out how to tweeze it. And so a lot of times I'll take my fingernail and get up under there, or a pair of tweezers, and you really just have to be cautious. And I ruin a lot of flowers trying to get them off the page. It's just part of what goes on when you go to work with them. It's teasing them off the paper. Here we have the fall anemone, which I'm pressing now. And I really love these. They have that kind of sheeny thing. The backs are really pretty too. And then here's the front. Let me move this aside, and there's another sheet under here we can do. This I turned the right way. Those were, I pressed upside down. These I pressed upside down, but I turned the paper over so I could better be able to show you just how beautiful these are. Okay. And the back. I don't know if the camera's picking up just how shimmery they are. So that's the fall anemone. This is, I don't think I've showed you these yet. I've talked about them a lot. They're the orange Montbretia that I just love. They hold their color for a really long time. And these are the tops of the spikes before they fully flower out. And then these are the flowers. These flowers, of course, would be lower down on the spike, and I picked them individually. These are just beautiful. And then this, I think, is just a full sheet of, yeah, that's a full sheet of those. And more Montbretia. This is red salvia and cardinal flower. There's a lot of different kinds of salvia on the market. I think this is called Red Hot Sally or Hot Sally or something. And then these cardinal flowers. I don't know why, but I just really like them. They hold their color really well. They're interesting and different. So that's what this page is. You can see the different ways that I press them. I'm more in a profile, and then some that are more like this one is more open. Whereas this one's a little not as open, and I have some that are more bud-like, but not on this page. This is bird's foot trefoil. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And mostly these kind of are invasive and wild. They grow along the side of the road. And mostly I press them for the individual florets. They kind of remind me of a sweet, not a sweet pea, but kind of the pea family. Kind of what it reminds me of. But I like these in miniature work. So that's how I'll usually use them. This is... looks like, oh, this is just a combination of some more bird's foot Montbretia, and this is oregano where I let them go to flower more. A lot of times I'll pick them before they go to flower, and it will be more like, I'll use them more like what you see in this bud. And then if you let them go more to flower, then they get like more pinkish like that. And I like them both ways. They're both, I love oregano. Oregano's a mainstay, another one that holds its color for a really long time. And I'll use them in these full, I have some where I've pressed the whole branch and it's almost the size of this sheet of paper this way. And then in segments, and then you can even drill down and use this tiny little bits in arrangements. Like here's an example. And then you can even take this apart more than that, down to even the little sections, because this is still made up of many different florets. This is Tickseed, another one that I just love, holds its color well. And this is the bottom. Let me get the top. Let me turn it over. Here's the top. And you have to be careful when you take them off. They like to stick, as does quite a few different plants. And that's, it's a form of a Coreopsis. And you've heard, I don't know, I might have mentioned this in another video, but I got it started in my yard from scattering some sun-loving wildflower seed. And then now after that, I just right now, as a matter of fact, they're starting to go to seed, the ones in the yard, and I will be saving the seed. I think in the garden vlog I showed you, I had one of these darker tick seeds happen, and here's what it looks like pressed. Although I forgot to mark the plant, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any of the seeds off of it. So there's some more. This is the last pile. This is Cantus. I actually have it inside. These are really nice. They hold their color well. I do notice that a couple of them, for some reason, washed out here, but that's not normal. They don't normally do that, so I don't know why this particular sheet did, but usually they have no problem making it through the press. And they're just this really cute little star type flower. They look good both open-faced and in profile. Like that. Here's some better illustrations of it, how they grow. Okay. So let me be careful when I put it down so I don't. This is Pansy. Yeah, anything that we haven't seen. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you these. This is another form of a bidden. And it's the one that I talked about that kind of goes this rusty color, which is very interesting. And then this Verbena. This is the back side of the Verbena. They like to stick. Let me see if I can tease one off to show you the front. Okay, there's the front. And then more pansies. More Verbena and fanflower. See if there's anything else I haven't shown you. Oh, coral bells. Again, another one that I love for. These come in different colors. Some are smaller and more yellowish. Some are more reddish. This actually was a late season coral bell that kept flowering. It was pretty prolific. And generally, when I use coral bells, I use the smaller sections. Sometimes I'll use a larger spike, but usually I use these for more filler in arrangements, and then small sections for jewelry. So that's what this sheet is. It's got a lot of coral bell on it. And then see if there's anything here. This is just some more of those heather. This is from the chenille plant. The ones that amaranth, I think is what it is. That kind of grows up, and then as this gets longer, it will start trailing down. So if I had let this grow even longer, this would have started to turn down as a cascading plant. And I think that's it. Okay. Thank you for tuning in.